So let us start the second and the last class of the factors influencing or modifying the toxicity. Under this heading, factor influencing the toxicity, we already discussed factors concerned to toxicant, factors concerned to the host. Now, the third point is the factors that is concerned to the environment. And the last one is the factors concerned to the exposure condition. So, we already discussed A, B, that is the concern to toxicant, and second one host. So, now today I am going to discuss the remaining part, that is the environmental factors, and the last one is the factor concerning to the exposure condition. Under the factors which is concerned to the environment is called environmental factors or external factors. The first thing is that how you have to recall that what are the factors are modifying the toxicant. So, toxicity. So, in this factors influencing the toxicity, the toxicant is coming. So, that is why we have kept toxicant. Also, it influencing the host or patient or affected animal. That is why the host or affected animal came. And the third, these toxicant as well as the host or patient are residing in a particular environment. That is why the environmental factor came. And the fourth one is the exposure condition. Now we have to discuss the environmental or external factors which influences the toxicity. So concerning to the environment, the temperature is coming, I mean environmental temperature. Then the environmental atmospheric pressure and altitude. Then the environmental light and the radiations. Then the environmental relative humidity. Then the environmental pollution. Then the ventilation, and the last one is the managemental and social factor. These all factors are important as well as concerned to the environment and easy to recall, like altitude, like temperature, like humidity, like light, like radiation, like the pollution, like the ventilation, and the managemental condition. So we have to discuss one by one. So under the temperature or environmental temperature affected or influencing the pharmacokinetic of the host animal. It may be absorption, distribution, and metabolism and excretion. So the temperature will influence the pharmacokinetics of the toxicant. If the pharmacokinetic of the toxicant get changed, its toxicity also get changed. So if the temperature of the environment is low, that means the body is going to warm up, because if a host animal is possessing low temperature, automatically the host animal is going to enhance its temperature. So how they are going to enhance the temperature? By increasing the BMR, basal metabolic rate. And if the temperature of animal is going to be enhanced by metabolic processes, that means कि it also enhances the biotransformation. That means कि animals are going to increase the body temperature by increasing the metabolic processes to generate the energy to warm up the body, and therefore simultaneously it also enhances the biotransformation of xenobiotic, or you can say the toxicant. So if a xenobiotic or a toxicant get metabolized faster, that means कि xenobiotic or toxicant get excreted out fastly from the body. That means कि it will remain within the body for lesser time. That means कि less toxic. So low temperature means less toxic. But some of the toxicant just possesses the property just against this correlation. Means कि low temperature environmental temperature, less toxicity. But some toxicant should not obey this rule, and therefore we call it the negative correlation with the environment or this property. And what are the toxicant belongs to this type of characteristic they are showing? The organochlorine insecticide and pyrethroid insecticide. Under the only organochlorine insecticide, DDT is coming, like dieldrin is coming. So, and under the pyrethroid, deltamethrin, cypermethrin, these insecticide belongs to pyrethroid. And these pyrethroid are cypermethrin, deltamethrin, which you will find the suffix methrin. So these insecticide belongs to this group organochlorine and pyrethroid. They have the negative correlation with the environment, means कि temperature is low, then their toxic effect is just opposite, that is more toxic. Just opposite to the this property that usually most of the toxicant are possessing. So organochlorine as well as the pyrethroid insecticide, they have the negative correlation with the environment, temperature, and therefore if the temperature is low, the toxicity is more. If the temperature is high, toxicity is low. Just opposite. Then we have to go through the another property, those agents that are oxidative uncoupler, those toxicants that are called oxidative uncoupler. Oxidative uncouplers are those toxicants that disrupt the oxidative phosphorylation. Usually when there is oxidative uncoupling occur, it will increase the body temperature. So when there is enhancement in the body temperature occur because of the oxidative uncoupler agent, it will significantly increases the toxic effect. Means more toxicity is there, because this is going to decrease the biotransformation. Means कि if the temperature is more, means environmental weather is more, that means the rate of metabolic process of that particular animal is low to maintain the temperature. So if the metabolic process is low, that means कि biotransformation is low, that means biotransformation of toxicant is low, that means कि toxicant is remaining within the body for longer time interval, and therefore it is more toxic. So this is all about the factors concerning to the environmental temperature which influence the toxicity. And next to that is the atmospheric pressure and the altitude. If you go at high altitude usually atmospheric pressure is low at high altitude, as well as the oxygen present there in the environmental is also low. That means कि at high altitude as well as high altitude, both the oxygen level in the environment as well as the atmospheric pressure of the environment is low at high altitude. So if the oxygen content at high altitude is low, it reduces the oxidation process or biotransformation. And if the biotransformation or oxidation of xenobiotics or the toxicant is slow, then what will happen? The rate of metabolism of toxicant is slow. That means कि toxicant is lies within the body for longer time interval and therefore more toxic. That means कि at high altitude, the atmospheric pressure is low as well as the oxygen level is low. Therefore, rate of oxidation is low. Therefore, rate of biotransformation is low. So, rate of metabolism of the toxicant is low, and therefore toxicant is remain within the 40 for longer time interval. That means कि it will enhances the toxicity. So this is about the atmospheric pressure and altitude. It has also been marked that at high altitude, the toxicant like cardiotoxic agent digitalis, then the rodenticide ridisquil, then the Strychnos nux vomica, that is the glycine inhibitor. These all the agent at high altitude as compared to low altitude, their toxicity is observed more at high altitude compared to the low altitude. So this is important. Now this is about the atmospheric pressure and altitude. Means कि at high altitude, low oxygen, low atmospheric process, low metabolism of the toxicant, and the high toxicity. This is about the effect of atmospheric pressure as well as the altitude on the toxicity. Now we have to go through the other factor which influences the toxicity is the light and irradiation or radiation. As you have also about this light, you have also knowing that those agents that are photosensitizers producing photosensitization, then if you are taking those agents are and coming in the sunlight, then it will produces the photosensitization and therefore it produces the toxicity. And why this will happen? Because the light is going to change your biological rhythm. Also, it has been marked and seen the species like rat and mouse, the cytochrome P450 activities or hepatic microsomal enzyme activity are greater at beginning of dark in case of rat and mouse. So, regarding the effect of light and radiation in particularly light in concern to photosensitization is concerned, if you are taking any drug agent toxicant that are photodynamic in nature, if you have took these agent and coming in the sunlight, then they are going to produce the photosensitization and this will produce the allergic reaction. The example are phenothiazine and demiclocycline. Demiclocycline is an antibiotic that belongs to the tetracycline group of antibiotics. Phenothiazine have the multifaceted activity, antiemetic and many others activity. The phenothiazine is a posaging, and when you are going to take this phenothiazine and demiclocycline and also the tar product, that is the petroleum product or tar product that is coming from the hydrocarbon product, and if that is taken by the host animal, and the host animal when after taking these agents coming in the sunlight, they get photosensitized and produces the photosensitization reaction in sun presence of sunlight or ultraviolet radiation, and therefore produce the allergic reaction and liver toxicity. So this is very important. And if even though these animals are intoxicated with these agent as well as intoxicated with the other agent, and if these animal are also get exposed to atropine, these intoxicated animal get exposed to atropine, and again it is coming, they are coming, the affected animal are coming in direct sunlight, it will enhances the toxicity or toxic effect. Why? Because of dilatation of pupil as well as the ciliary muscle paralysis after taking the atropine. Why? Atropine is a muscarinic blocker. So when muscarinic receptor get blocked, it will produce the mydriasis and cycloplasia. That means ki the person who took this atropine and coming in the sunlight, they are not accommodating the light, and if that animals are intoxicated and took again atropine, then this is going to enhance the toxication, because the itself the animal are not accommodating, not balancing because of atropine, and the toxicity, other toxicant is that there, and that is produce the toxicity, therefore it will enhance the potency of toxicity after taking the atropine. If if a host animal is get irradiation, whole body irradiation, this will increase the toxicity of CNS stimulant. What it means, if the animal get exposed to whole body irradiation and you have given the CNS stimulant, the CNS stimulant activity get enhanced as compared to not irradiated, whole body irradiated animals, and it will also decreases the activity of CNS depressant. So this is about the factor concerning to light and radiation. Now next point is the humidity. If the weather or environment is hot and humid, if the weather is hot and humid, then what a host animal is going to do, they are going to cool their body temperature. And how the animals are going to cool in hot and humid condition, they are going to enhance the blood supply to the skin, and therefore this is going to keep the temperature down. And if there is more circulation in hot and humid environment at the skin side, and you are putting ectoparasite on the skin, then it will increases the toxicity of ectoparasite like organophosphorus insecticide. Why? Because in hot and humid condition, over the skin more blood supply is there, and when you are applying anything over the skin, not anything, many most of the agent, when the circulation is more, that means absorption is more, the toxicant is that, then the toxicity is more. So and rapid of absorption, and therefore toxicity is more. So this will seen in the ectoparasite like organophosphorus insecticide like parathion. Parathion is organophosphorus insecticide. So this is about the factor related to the relative humidity. Now we have to go through the another point, environmental pollution. Means if the pollution is in the environment is there, how it will influences the toxicity of the animal. So take the example of sulfur dioxide gas. If the sulfur dioxide gas is in environment and they are present at most of the time, so this is going to produce the chronic type of exposure to that animal. So when there is chronic type of exposure to sulfur dioxide gas to the animal happen, then this will going to thicken the mucous membrane of respiratory tract. So when there is thickening of respiratory mucous membrane because of the more amount of sulfur dioxide gas is there, then what will happen? The mucous membrane get thickened and therefore it impair the absorption of toxicant. Therefore, less toxicity occur because the less absorption through that route. So less toxicity is occur. So this way, this is going to influence the absorption of the another toxicant. Now we have to go through the other property. If the environmental pollution is there, this will influence the biotransformation. Biotransformation, how this will influence the biotransformation? Either by increasing or decreasing the level of hepatic microsomal enzyme, that is the cytochrome P450, or phase 1 or phase 2 metabolizing enzyme, and accordingly this will influence the pharmacokinetic. So this is the best example. You have to go through the DDT as well as the tobacco smoke. So what will happen? This DDT and tobacco smoke is present in a high concentration in the environment. Then what will do if the animal residing in that environment are going to take these toxicant? Therefore, it will increase the enzyme hepatic microsomal enzyme. Therefore, if the metabolizing enzyme is more, then it is going to increase the rate of metabolism of the toxicant. So toxicant is going to be excreted out from the body fastly. So this is the factors concerned to the environmental pollution. Now we have to go through the two more factors under the factor related to the environment. One is the ventilation, and another is the managemental condition and social factor. So ventilation is not much going to be explained because everyone is knowing if the ventilation is the poor, if the toxicant is gas in nature and a ventilation is poor, then toxicant is remain there in the shed or barn if the ventilation is poor. So toxicant is remain there for longer time interval, then the exposure from the toxicity is more. So this is about the ventilation. Next example is the silo gases. In a poor ventilation condition, the silo gases usually accumulate in confined space because the gas is not going to be removed fastly because of the poor ventilation. Now we have to go through the management and social factor. Under this, the very important, if you are keeping an animal in shed in the barn, then you have to take care about the sound. If the more sound is there and if the toxicity is there, then the chances is that this is going to enhance the toxicity. If you are allowing more visitor in your farm or you're in barn, then what will happen? There may be chances if the toxicant is concerned to the visitor, then this is going to enhance the toxicity. So if you are allowing more and more sound and visitors and other things, that the overcrowding, not good bedding material, then these all are influencing the toxicity. In this, we are going to discuss few of the toxicity. Take the example of tetanus toxicity. So as you know, in tetanus toxicity, this is the spasmin is there, and if the sound is more, if you are going to create sound nearby a tetanus patient, then this will enhance the symptoms. So likewise, the another example is the strychnine nux vomica poisoning. That is the glycine inhibitor. That is the excitatory type of response you will find in the animal. So excitatory type of response is there, and you are allowing the visitor and as well as the sound. Then this will also enhance the toxicity of the poisoning in presence of the sound as well as the visitors. So take the another example. If there is overcrowding in your barn or in your house is there where you are caged the animal, and you have given the CNS as stimulant to the animal like amphetamine, then what will happen? It will enhance the toxicity to the toxic animal. So these all are the seven factors that are coming under the toxicity influencing or modifying the toxicity concerned to the environmental or external factor. Now we have to discuss the last heading, the factors concerning to the exposure condition. In this condition, you have to see here, this is mainly concerned to the toxicant. I mean, if you toxicant means if you are giving the more dose, so more toxicity is there. If you are allowing the drug or toxicant through the IV route, then this is going to produce the toxicity. If you are going to administer the toxicant fastly, then this is going to produce the toxicity more. If you are administering more volume or more concentration, this is also going to enhance the toxicity. So these amongst the all factors, they are primarily or mainly concerned to the toxicant. So now we have to discuss one by one. So these are the dose or amount of toxicant, route and site of exposure, rate of administration of toxicant, volume and concentration of toxicant, time of administration or exposure of toxicant, schedule of dosage of toxicant, then duration and efficacy of exposure of toxicant, interaction of the toxicant, then palatability of the toxicant. So these all are concerned to the toxicant, and now we have to go through one by one. So now we have to go through the first one, that is dose and amount of the toxicant. So dose and amount of toxicant is directly proportional to the effect. Means if you are allowing more dose or amount of toxicant, the toxic effect is more. Take the example of sodium chloride, that is a salt. So when you are taking a salt in proper dose that you require as per the test, then there is a very little chance to produce the toxicity. And in the same, if you are allowing the sodium chloride, I means the common salt at high dosage, then that salt is going to produce the salt toxicity. Take the another just opposite contradictory example. If a toxicant is the highly potent, means ki those poisons that are going to produce the toxicity even at low dose, then it will influence the toxicity. So, if you are taking highly poisonous poison or potent poison at very meager quantity, very small quantity, then the chances of toxicity is, or the potency or effect of toxicity is less or not there. So this is dose of the toxicant is determining the effect. So this is very important and interesting as well. Now we have to go through the route and site of exposure. Take the best example is when you are administering any drug by the intravenous route, and the same toxicant you are administering by other than intravenous route, then the toxicity varies. Okay, so take the example, start the example. If you are taking oral drug as compared to dermal administration or administration through the skin, then you know when you are administering any toxicant by oral route, then the chances of toxicity is more as compared to the dermal administration or administration over the skin. Take the but this is not allowed for all the almost all the condition. How? Take the another example. Take some of the example of organophosphorus insecticide. Some organophosphorus insecticide showed more dermal absorption than the gastrointestinal absorption or oral administration. Take the example in the insect. So in insect you will find the chitinous or dermal, or even in mammal, not mammal insect, their dermal absorption is faster than the gastrointestinal tract absorption of the toxicant. But in majority of cases, more and more compound of the toxicant are going to absorb more through oral route as compared to dermal route, and the toxicity is more. However, few exceptions are also there that I have given, that the some of the organophosphorus insecticide are better absorbed when you are applying through the skin or dermal route than the gastrointestinal tract. Take the elemental mercury. Any elemental mercury is well or highly absorbed through the lungs, and therefore this is going to produce the toxicity. When the same elemental mercury, so again the same elemental mercury, other than this lungs through oral route, usually non-toxic. So the route of exposure is also very important. Then take the another example, DDT. When you are administering DDT through parenteral administration, like the intramuscular or subcut or intravenous, then you will find about the equal toxicity both in the insect as well as the mammal. But if you are going to apply this in the insect, in case of DDT, you will found the permeability of the DDT through skin or chitinous exoskeleton. In case of insect, the DDT absorption is more than the mammalian skin. So see here how much difference is there, and this is also going to tell something about this or some of the organophosphorus insecticide properties. So the route of exposure or route of administration of the toxicant is also very important. The example that we already given are about the DDT and some of the organophosphorus insecticide. Now we have to go through the rate of administration. Rate of administration is going to tell the pace, the speed. Means ki if you are administering a toxicant with high speed or high pace, then the intensity of toxicity is more. And if you are administering the same toxicant with slow pace or slow rate, then the intensity of toxicity is less. And take the example here. If you are administering any IV injection, then you will find here the few exception is there. Few exception is there. This exception, if you are administering the rapid IV, no. This is this is the same about the pace with the few exception. Here this is not exception. They are telling if you are administering majority of toxicant by high rate or high pace, they are directly proportional to the toxicity. So if you are administering any toxicant by rapid IV injection, that is also called bolus IV injection, then the severity of toxicity is more. And if you are going to compare this with the slow IV infusion with the fast or rapid or bolus IV injection, then you will find this toxicity is less of the same toxicant when you are administering it slowly as compared to the rapidly. So this is very, very important and interesting. Take the example of DAM. DAM is the diacetyl monoxide. So what is this? This is used for the therapy of organophosphorus inside toxicity. What is DAM? DAM is a cholinesterase activator. What it means? It means organophosphorus insecticide are going to bind with the cholinesterase and they are not going to leave the cholinesterase. So, what the dam is going to do? Dam is going to remove the organophosphorus insecticide from binding with the cholinesterase. So therefore, DAM is used for the therapy of organophosphorus insecticide, organophosphorus insecticide toxicity. And this agent, when you are administering for as a therapeutic agent with high pace, with bolus injection, with rapid IV injection, then this will produce the severe type of side effect. And if the same dam you are administering with the slow pace, slow speed, so slow rate, then the chances of side effect is less, or you can say well tolerated. So see here the pace, the speed, the rate of administration of a toxicant determine the side effect or the toxicity. Take the another example, urea. Urea, if an animal or a patient is going to take with high pace, with high speed, then what will happen? If animal took, ruminant took a high concentration of urea, or fastly urea is taken by the ruminant, then you will find high concentration of urea in the rumen. Therefore, it will generate high amount of ammonia gas in the rumen, and therefore this is going to produce the toxicity. So this is going to tell about the rate and pace and speed of administration of toxicity, and this is very, very important. Now we have to go through the volume and concentration of the administration of the volume and concentration of the toxicant. So in this you have to see the very, very interesting examples are when you are giving a patient with isotonic saline solution, that is the normal saline solution, then you will find the toxicity of the chances LD50 or chances of toxicity when you are taking the animal rat, then the LD50 of normal saline or isotonic solution, or you can say the sodium chloride solution, isotonic solution, is see here 68 ml per kg body weight in case of rat. However, again you are taking the same sodium chloride solution as a hypotonic or hypertonic solution, then this become more toxic. Take the example, if you are taking hypotonic sodium chloride solution in the same rat species, then you will find the LD50 is very, very less. See here, this LD50 for isotonic saline solution is 60 ml per kg, but this is for hypotonic solution LD50 for the rat is 1 ml per kg body weight. So this is very, very important. And again, you have to go through the concentration. if you are diluting the toxicant, diluting the solution, toxicant solution, therefore this is going to produce the more toxicity upon oral administration. So this is about the factor influencing the toxicity concerned to the volume and concentration. Now we have to go through the time of administration of the toxicant. This is very, very important and very, very understandable. How hypnotics, take hypnotics. What is hypnotic? Hypnotic is a sedative, going or narcotic, or going to produce the sleeping. So as you know, if you when human is going to sleep at night, that means from evening. So in evening, what you will find? Dark. So dark itself is a sedative. So, in human being, if you are going to take any sedative, any hypnotic, any narcotic that is producing sleepiness at particularly night time, then the efficacy of that agent is more as compared to same drug in same human being when you are going to take in the daytime. So this is very, very important regarding the time of administration of the toxicant or the drug or the agent. And also, if you are going to see with the food we have to discuss in the next part. Take the another example, the schedule of dosage. Schedule of dosage is going to tell the if you are taking a single dose or you are taking the multiple dose. So if you are taking a single dose but at large or high concentration, then this is going to produce the more toxicity. And again, the same compound, if you are taking the same amount but divided dosage, and that agent is not cumulative, then the toxicity is get reduced. Again, I am going to repeat the same thing. If you are taking any drug, any compound, any toxicant in a single large dosage, and that agent is not a cumulative agent, then if you are comparing with the a small fraction of multiple dosage of the same amount, then the toxicity chances is less because you are dividing the dosage. The concentration of the toxicant is existing within the body is low, so chances of toxicity is low. And even and if you are taking the same toxicant or agent at high concentration at a single attempt, that means that agent acquire high concentration within the blood, and therefore the toxicity is more. But this is not for the cumulative type of agent. Take the another example. If you are administering any toxicant, and that toxicant, even though you are administering at very small quantity, but that toxicant is possessing cumulative type of property, then if you are repeatedly used for many occasion or chronically used, then it will produce more toxic as compared to when you are using same as a single dose, because in cumulative type of property the concentration get accumulated and the concentration acquired within the blood is more, and therefore that is going to produce more toxicity for those agents that are cumulative type of the agent. Now we have to go through the toxicant by oral route, and if the GI tract is empty or if the GI tract is full stomach. So and this will affect the absorption of toxicant. If the stomach is empty, the absorption of an agent or toxicant or xenobiotic is more. And if the same stomach is full and toxicant or agent or chemical or substance is there, then their absorption is less. So less toxicity. So this is telling in empty stomach animal, what if they took the toxicant, then the chances of toxicity or the potency of toxicity is more as compared to the same animal if took this toxicant in full stomach. Take the but this is not always same. This formula is not always same, and however there are some contradictory example is there. Take the cyanogenetic glycoside. If you are taking cyanogenetic glycoside, so what is this cyanogenetic glycoside? Cyanogenetic, cyano means cyanide. So cyanogenetic glycoside are those agents that are releasing the cyanide and therefore producing the cyanide toxicity. So when the stomach is full and you are taking the cyanogenetic glycoside, then the full stomach is helping to break down the cyanogenetic glycoside into cyanide compound, and that will absorb, and therefore cyanogenetic glycoside, due to its breakdown and absorption of cyanide, it produces toxicity in full stomach animal as compared to the empty stomach. So this is important one. And now we have to go through the another factors, the duration and frequency of exposure. Duration and frequency of exposure means whether you are using it as single or you are using at repeated dose or repeated administration. But this is different from the cumulative type the cumulative type of action. This is not a concern to the cumulative type of action. There we already discussed. This is different. How different? Take the example when you are using organophosphorus insecticide like monocrotophos, and when you are administering it at a single dose, then this is going to produce the toxicity. We are going to call it the acute toxicity. The acute toxicity is the toxicity produced within the 24-hour after single, mainly single administration. It may be the repeated administration within the 24-hour of administration of the toxicant. So monocrotophos as an organophosphorus insecticide, after its single administration produce acute toxicity, and its effect is by inhibiting the acetylcholine esterase enzyme. So what is this enzyme, or how this is acting? What is the name of this enzyme? Acetylcholine esterase. So this acetylcholine esterase enzyme is acting on which neurotransmitter? The answer is acetylcholine, and the name is also the same type, so it's the easy to recall. So this acetylcholine esterase is going to break down the acetylcholine, and therefore it nullify and destroy the action of acetylcholine. So what the organophosphorus insecticide mechanism of action? This is going to inhibit the enzyme acetylcholinesterase. Therefore, this is called anti-acetylcholinesterase, and therefore acetylcholine is not going to be destroyed, and therefore you will find the acetylcholine is going to bind with their receptor like muscarinic receptor and produce toxicity. So in case of organophosphorus monocrotophos acute single administration toxicity, that is the toxicity produced because of acetylcholine acting on the muscarinic receptor and also on the nicotinic receptor, and the symptom mainly concerned to the muscarinic receptor, you have to recall by dumbbell. Symptom is first letter of all, D for diarrhea, U for frequent urination or urgency of urination. Then M for meiosis, the reconstriction of the pupil. B for bronchoconstriction and bradycardia. Then E for vomission or emesis. L for lacrimation. L for laxation, that is purgation. S for salivation. So this is the, so you will find this type of symptom in case of organophosphorescence acute type of toxicity. The example is monocrotophos. Now we have to go through the another example, that is the toxicant is administered the same organophosphorus insecticide monocrotophos, upon repeated exposure they are going to produce a different type of toxicity, and we are calling it the delayed neuropathy. Why this delayed neuropathy occur? Because this acetylcholinesterase inhibition is prolonged, and therefore the acetylcholinesterase enzyme is not going to regenerated, and it is going to produce the delayed type of neuropathy. In this you will find the symptom, different symptom, like paralysis of limb. So the same organophosphorus insecticide, upon acute single administration, upon repeated exposure, produce different type of toxicity that we have mentioned here. Take the another example of the copper administration. If you are taking the copper is going to take repeated on repeated administration, because we earlier mentioned that because of the genetic disease, that the accumulation of the copper occur in the liver, and therefore because of the copper accumulation after its repeated administration, it produce the cumulative type of toxicity because of the accumulation in the in the liver, and you are comparing this with the single exposure. What it means, in single exposure of the copper, no toxicity, and repeated exposure of the copper, this is going to produce the cumulative effect because of the accumulation of the copper in the liver, and produce the hepatotoxicity. Now we have to go through the very very important factors influencing the toxicity, is the interaction of the compound or the toxicant or the agent or the substance or the xenobiotics. What interaction means? Inter means between. Between means when you are using two toxicant or more than two toxicant simultaneously, or after some time, then there may be chances they have some type of exposure or some type of activity on administration together and produce the different type of toxicity, and this is called interaction between the compound or toxicant. Interaction means ki there is some reaction, something happens, some physiological changes they do. So therefore that is going to produce the interaction between the two toxicant, and this may be divided into four type. And this interaction of the toxicant may be potentiation, may be the addition, may be the synergism, may be the antagonism, and these property we also gone through the same in case of the chemotherapeutic agent or other drugs. So This is going to tell you when you are going to use two or more toxicant or xenobiotic together, it may increase or may decrease the toxicity. And this is going to, the example is going to explain how this will happen. So we have to go through one by one. So interaction may be potentiated, maybe addition, maybe the synergism interaction, maybe the antagonism in interaction. Then we have to go through the potentiation first. Potentiation of interaction of xenobiotics. Take the example isopropanol. When you are using isopropanol, this agent is non-toxic. But simultaneously, when with isopropanol, you have administered calcium carbon tetrachloride, that is going to enhance the liver toxicity by carbon tetrachloride. What it means? It means isopropanol alone is non-toxic and carbon tetrachloride is going to produce liver toxicity, and usually tetrachloride used as an anthelmintic agent for for sheep. And if you are using or you have treated that sheep with the carbon tetrachloride alone, and some of the animal you have treated with the isopropanol, then the isopropanol enhances the toxic effect of carbon tetrachloride. So carbon tetrachloride is a liver toxic agent, so it enhances the liver toxicity. So this is that is why it is called potentiation. Means ki itself a toxicant is not a produce toxicity, but it will enhance the toxicity of another substance is called potentiation. Now we have to go through the addition. Addition means if you are going to define it numerically, mathematically, then you will say if an agent is having the toxic effect 1, another agent is also having the toxic effect 1, then when you are going to use together, then their toxic get summate, and therefore this is called addition. Means ki 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, that this will call the addition. And this is usually it has been seen if a toxicant or two toxicant used together, and if the agent is possessing the same mechanism of toxicity, then the agent interaction or toxicant interaction may be additive or addition effect produce. Take the example organophosphorus insecticide. So when you are using two organophosphorus insecticide together, possessing same mechanism of toxicity, then they are going to inhibit the cholinesterase enzyme. Their activity or toxic effect is additive. Additive means numerically 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Means a toxic agent having the toxicity 1, another toxicant is having again 1, then this become 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Now we have to go through the synergism type of property. So in case of synergism, if you are going to define by numeral method or mathematical method, then in this type of toxicity, if a toxicant is possessing a toxic effect alone 1, another toxic agent alone produces one toxicant, then when you are using together, then the interaction occur. We will call it the synergism interaction, and the effect numerically not 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. It is always more than 2, and the effect is called synergism. So this is, it has been seen with the, again, the hepatotoxic anthelmintic carbon tetrachloride. When you are using with the alcohol, then this is going to enhance the hepatotoxicity activity, because both are usually hepatotoxic, and this is going to produce the hepatotoxic more than 2. Now we have to go through the antagonism. So name itself is, every name, all name is going to explain everything. Potentiation is also explaining. Addition means plus, means adding. Synergism means one is helping the other in some such a way, their impact is so high that you can't even imagine. This is also coming with with the antibiotics also. Now we have to go through the antagonism. Antagonism means this, if interaction is antagonizing each other, is called antagonism. That means if you are using two toxicants together, that they are neutralizing effect of each other. Take the example of organophosphorus insecticide. So organophosphorus insecticide is, when you are using along with the atropine, then their effect get nullify. How that I am explaining you. Organophosphorus insecticide is inhibiting the enzyme acetylcholinesterase. Therefore, acetylcholine neurotransmitter is not get not destroyed. So acetylcholine is going to combine with the muscarinic blocker of that patient, and therefore muscarinic type of toxicity symptoms like dumbbells appear. Take the another example, atropine. Not another example, another agent, atropine. Atropine is a muscarinic blocker. So when you are taking atropine, that is going to block the muscarinic receptor, and your acetylcholine is not getting the free muscarinic receptor to act. So if the muscarinic receptor, unbound muscarinic receptor is not present there, then the how the acetylcholine neurotransmitter is going to produce the toxicity. Therefore, atropine is also used for the therapy of organophosphorus insecticide, and mechanism of action is already I explained. And the last one under this is the palatability. So name is itself is telling, if you are taking any substance in high amount, and if the substance is toxic, then this is going to enhance the toxicity. Take the example, if you are giving the rodenticide to the rat without flavoring it and giving a very good smell, the rats are going to take less. If you are flavoring, taking more. If more amount of the rodenticide is taken by the rat after flavoring it, the toxicity, palatability is more, then the motility is more. So this is all about the factors influencing or modifying the toxicity, and we have discussed it in two parts, and this one is the second and the last part.